stuck with us for the 5 years. I'm most grateful for all our clients, to our esteemed artists who give us such beautiful work to put on the walls. Thank you very much indeed. And frankly, it's great to see familiar faces. It's been a blast, it really has. So just a quick thanks please to the O'Riordan family for their support, in particular my sister Anne, who has over the years done, she's the tour de force behind the gallery, behind the scenes. To Tom Banahan, whose creativity knows no bounds, and that we're immensely grateful for the fabulous invitations, both soft and hard copy, and that he has come up with at short notice over the years with his company, Banahan BMA. Most grateful for that too, thank you. And Robert, this gallery wouldn't exist if it hadn't been for his nudging me and telling me let's do it, and we got into a rhythm, and well, here we are today, and it's been terrific. So, which brings me swiftly on to Robert. Robert is a writer. He's he did his PhD, for those of you who remember Gus Martin, yes, and me too.
I was his last, God rest him.
Yes, God rest him indeed, and he was his last PhD student. So Robert is a writer of several books, very particularly on grammar, but he has got 3 really exciting books coming on stream. One of them is already available on Amazon, called Rosanna and Owl. The other one that's just about to go is
In Steps Angelina.
In Steps Angelina.
These are for the grand
They're
watchers.
wonderful, romantic, fabulous books. They really are. They stir the imagination. And then Stella Bright, which is going to be the next one. So what can I say?
You've done most of it.
I can just introduce truly my best friend, Dr. Robert Mohr.
Oh God, stop. Okay, that's an applause. You've outdone yourself crazy. Hello everyone and welcome. There's just made the welcomes and the thank yous that I would have made, especially to her family, to Anne. None of this would work without Anne. Tom Banahan, who's lurking behind you, has been stalwart in the invitations, and one client said, I collect them. Maybe we should do a limited run of the invitations.
Charge.
Oh, there's Tom. So rather than welcoming you again and thanking all of them, as I just have, and Ulrika, by the way, the thanks. I thought I'd say a little bit something about how the gallery started. I've never spoken, and I have some things to say to you. I think it was 2013, 14.
It was in the middle of recession. That was the big thing.
Yeah.
You're mad or you're brave. Were
Yes.
the 2 things we most heard.
Yeah.
And Deirdre's phrase was on the clippings of tin.
Yeah.
Joanne's dress shop retired, really, and the space became open. One day, I think we had a bowl of soup out, and Deirdre said, "Do you want to see something?" Showed me the space, and bing, it was there. I knew she wanted to start a gallery for years, and it was obvious. So I went home to my family and said, "Well, what do you think?" I was between things. "Yes, Dad, go." And then I rang Deirdre up, and the thing just happened so fast. It was thrilling, breathtaking. But then there's the problem of the name. What do you call a gallery? There are various good names and twee names running around. It was RT, because we're at a T junction. That went quickly enough. Art Junction. But I was sitting in the bus, coming in, put my head against the glass, and I was like Jacob saying, what, out of a dream? I said, the open window. What? The open window. Well, then when I woke up, I had that phrase, oh yeah, Saki's story, the open window. in which a young girl tricks a very nervous neighbor into being so frightened he runs out of the house. Last line being, romance at a moment's notice was her specialty. It's a wonderful story, his most famous. And then Deirdre says, well, Matisse's painting The Open Window, 1905, gives it credence. Plus, he spent a lot of time late in his career sitting in his room painting through an open window. So it just worked. There were some other considerations. Now, if you look at a painting, what is a painting but a window? That you look through, that your eye goes in and through. There's a bit of looking glass about that. So there's this whole dynamic of the open window in a painting, and the romance, the intrigue, and the way it calls you through it. They say the eyes are the window of the soul. That's an interesting one. I don't know what century that came from. So you have to say, oh, an open window, and the window of the eye, and the window of the painting, or there's a correspondence, maybe a fusion. Oh, there's this wonderful dynamic. About 15 years ago, I received a phone call from herself. She said, you won't listen to this. I'm reading an article by Declan Kybert in the Indo, I think. And there's this line in it that I have to read you. We're most like the gods when we play. Oh, well, I loved it. Play. What is it past subsistence, necessity, the basics that make us human, but our play? And what is art but a divine play? So that's at work with this whole love or chapel or endeavor of this gallery, the open window. So I wanted to bring that out, that the open window is a redolent name, really. When Deirdre and I, and sometimes as a trio with Tom, the three of us go into a show, wherever, a little gallery or the RHA would matter. And the game is to go and find your favorite work without announcing it until the end. And what you do when you do that, as you know yourself, is you go and see which one calls to you. Don't look at the name, don't look at the price yet. Don't look at the name. Don't think of the prestige or even the critical eye. A mind has to stop, but see which one calls. It's an old shamanic practice called divination, where a thing calls to you. We played that game for years, which is your favorite, and it was very interesting to see if we would ever choose the same or not. Now there's another thing, and I'm almost done. Patience. And what was the thing? It was this, the game. Yes. When we hang these shows, our problem is, well, at one time there were 35 artists, not so many anymore, is to get them to jive with each other, to hang in a way that doesn't, so two paintings don't detract, but do harmonize. Now we're very different sensibilities. I think that everything is music for me. So I'm looking for rhythm, I'm looking for harmony, the dance, if you want, the melody, the lyricism. Deirdre's more literate than I, and she's thinking narrative. And if you put the musical, rhythmic thing and narrative as two sensibilities trying to hang paintings, you get things like, sorry Patrick, like this eye and that eye. They're little things, but they, boom, happen. And so in hanging, it takes about 12 hours because we just strip it and put them all back up. So it is a labor of sensibility, of love, of pragmatics, and then pricing. Oh, pricing. I welcome you to go around and do the heart look, find what pulls, and then reach for your wallet. Back full circle, thank you for supporting the gallery. Your support of the gallery is financial as well as your presence. Your presence is huge. It gives us energy to go on. But of course, buying the art supports us so we can keep showing the work of the artists. And it supports the artists to keep working. So we shouldn't be too lax on that. It isn't just a chapel, it isn't just a museum, it is a workhorse of a place, I can tell you. So I'll stop ringing that bell, but please, as much as you can, support this beautiful gallery.
Thank you very much indeed, and I'll have a glass of wine then.
Glass of wine?
Yes, please.
Red?
Oh, surprisingly white, please.
All right.